Nothing frustrates me more than shaky footage. Yes, sometimes it is necessary to create that shakiness to portray frantic events like war scenes or due to the genre itself, but it's often overused because it is much easier to shoot handheld than try and achieve a smooth shot. Today I'll try to cover all methods that will help you make your footage as smooth as possible. The first method is used when you have nothing with you besides your hands and your camera. The idea is quite simple. Usually we hold the camera with our two hands, which creates only 2 points of contact, and it's not a stable system. To make it stable, we need at least one more point of contact. If you got nothing with you but your camera and hands, you can press the viewfinder against your eye, thus creating a third point of contact. Well, I've got to pause here. You see this dumbass? Yeah, this one. He sees nothing in his viewfinder because this method that I described earlier works only with cinema cameras that got dedicated viewfinder. DSLR's viewfinder shows you nothing at this point. If you at least have a camera strap, you can use it to stabilize the camera as well. If your camera is rigged and you have an external monitor, then simply pressing your camera against your body will stabilize your footage. And here are some examples made with 2 points of contact and with 3. If it's not smooth enough for you but you still don't want to buy or simply cannot afford some equipment, then it's time to improvise. A camera with decent enough autofocus on a towel can create some really smooth shots. Don't have autofocus? Get your subject in focus and drag your camera on a towel. Then reverse the shot and add a speed ramp if needed. These things are limited only by your imagination and by your willingness to risk your camera in case of some bold shots. The slower your shot is, the easier it is to make it smooth. You make a sweeping cinematic move that lasts only a few seconds, but you end up with a long and smooth shot on post if you use slow motion. There are several drawbacks, of course. The first is that slow motion doesn't fit everywhere and is really annoying when overused. The second is that only expensive enough cameras typically can go up to 120 FPS, but even 50 FPS will make a difference, especially if it is a B-roll. Well, I've run out of things that you can do without purchasing a separate device. Let's look at the most popular one, a gimbal. Why is it the most popular? Because it gives you an ability to shoot smooth enough footage and allows you to move freely at the same time. Gimbals are pain to set up and they cannot fit every camera, but once you've determined the ideal settings for your camera, it's quite easy to use, especially for following moving people. If you're willing to suffer a bit for the sake of really smooth footage, then slider is your thing. It's often difficult to set up and transport, and for manual slider it is difficult to maintain constant speed, but it's worth it. Some are motorized, some even have a motorized camera head, but either way, this device will allow you to achieve the smoothest footage possible. There are some things that you can do either to increase the smoothness of your shot or to try to save a shaky footage. I'm talking about stabilizers built into software. For example, DaVinci Resolve has got a stabilizer which has 3 different stabilizing principles built in. It's hard to predict which one will help your footage, just try them all and figure out the best for you. But be aware that all of them will crop your footage to achieve results. Now some basic advice. Some cameras have IBIS, in-body image stabilization, which is designed to reduce shakiness. Some lenses have stabilization built in. But if you engage IBIS and lens stabilization at the same time, it can result in warping, because those things do not really talk to each other as far as I understand. Also, the longer the focal length of the lens that you use, the harder it is to make it stable. So if you like handheld, then wide image stabilized lenses is your choice. No matter what you choose to use for stabilizing your shot, remember one thing: not every shot should be dynamic. Tripod shots are still fine. Thank you for watching. Bye.